Why is it Freemasons stand on this checkered floor? You see this in music videos. It represents division and illusion.
The checkerboard symbol is one of the most common symbols used by Freemasons. It is one of the most iconic symbols used.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, this is money coming. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, this is money coming.
So here's Michael Jackson's album cover, and you can see he's showing you some occult symbolism of the black and white checkered board floor. And here are some more. Cardi B, you have Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, 2 Chainz, with the 2 pillars and the checkered board floor, which is also a Freemasonic symbol of the entrance of the Temple of Solomon. And again, the Temple of Solomon is yourself, and when you walk into the 2 pillars, it's symbolic for walking into your own mind and entering the mystery schools and learning about the functions of consciousness. Here you see 6-9 with the checkered board pavement. The checkered board pavement just simply represents base consciousness, hence why it's on the floor, only aware of the 5 senses, and their mind is stuck in many different personalities and illusions and duality thinking.
Did you know that the real reason Vodou is labeled as demonic and why we are socialized to stay away from it is because it was utilized by the Haitians to defeat the British and the French in the Haitian Revolutionary War? Vodou has nothing to do with demonic practices. It is simply an understanding of plants and nature. It's botany with flavor and a spiritual connection. But because a group of individuals who were oppressed utilized it to liberate themselves, it was labeled as something wicked. Look into it for yourself and educate yourself. And do not let those who have oppressed your ancestors as well as oppress you tell you what knowledge and practices are good or bad. The same thing happened to the Mardi Gras Indians in Louisiana. The reason why the French were unable to enslave them was because they had knowledge of the terrain as well as nature. So do you see why it is so important for you to return to your indigenous understanding and practices and comprehension of nature and humanity? It is incredibly important, so much so that a group of people, a lot of people, are incredibly afraid of you doing so. On God. Peace.
So, now with voodoo or hoodoo, this was something that was basically given to you and said that it's demonic, and they do any and everything that they can by showing it in movies, on TV shows as negative, but yet they profit off of it, right? And subliminally, whether you like it or not, a lot of your favorite celebrities, musicians, artists, all of them have been putting it in their music, including Michael Jackson. So this is going to be a series where I will break down all the signs and symbols and what it actually means when it comes to the Great Awakening and the enlightenment of the masses. So we're going to start off with the checkerboard. Now I'm going to cover everything, because the checkerboard is the black and white checkerboard, flooring that a lot of celebrities have in their home. The main one that I can point out are the Kardashians. The house where they record the Kardashians, they're in the foyer, always have checkerboard. Celebrities wear checkerboard patterns, the black and white, yin and yang, as above, so below, the lower not the lower vibration, but the lower side. We're going to learn it all, and I'm going to cover everything all the way up to Saturn. Michael Jackson had been putting it in his music for as long as I can remember. And a lot of the celebrities are tapped in to the knowledge. Now, the same knowledge that some might say is voodoo, others might say it's Freemasonry, and other people might say it's occult practice. It all comes down to one thing. At the end of the day, it's an umbrella of things, and there are some people who tapped into deeper, darker things to achieve a goal, like putting a spell on a big community to keep them docile, to keep them sleeping, meanwhile feeding them their same information but in a negative way, telling them that it's negative, meanwhile they're using it against you to also keep you asleep. So now we're going to talk about the checkerboard. We will also talk about Drake and his sigil that he used as something that you will always notice. Every time you see it, you know it's Drake. What is that? The owl, the OVO. What does the owl mean? Owl represents knowledge. Every animal in the animal kingdom has a purpose, right? Just like spiders. A lot of spiders actually used to be like, not as used to be, but they are connected to the Egyptians and all of that. We're going to cover all of this. So today we're going to start off with the checkerboard. The next video will most likely be the pillars. Or we can talk about the pillars in the checkerboard today, and then the next video we'll talk about Saturn, and then we'll talk about the owl, the knowledge. Let's get into it.
The checkerboard symbol is one of the most common symbols used by Freemasons. It is one of the most iconic symbols used in Masonic lodges. The black and white pavement in a Freemason lodge is similar to a checkerboard. It represents light and darkness, duality and balance, moral choices, life journey, plus more. During Masonic rituals, the floor serves as an stage for enacting symbolic lessons. With this pavement, they are reminded of the highs and lows of life. It is found at the very center of the room in a lodge room. It is symbolic of the constant battle between good and evil. The Masonic pavement is met with the rituals of the 18th century. It is classified as one of the lodge ornaments along with the blazing star and the indented tassel. The blazing star is said to represent the star that led the wise men to Bethlehem. The blazing star is an object that appears in several Freemason degrees and is a prominent feature in the Freemason lodge. The tessellated border represents the skirting that surrounds the ground floor of King Solomon's temple. It represents the boundaries of the material world, unity and order, protection and boundaries. You may see it in a lot of music videos because it is one of their ways of telling us without telling us. And they think that by telling us, they are escaping karma. It is also associated with MK Ultra, which is mind control. MK Ultra was a program run by the CIA, and its goal was to investigate mind control techniques. Their aim was to control human behavior, extract information from us, and brainwash us. The program developed techniques to manipulate memory, manipulate thought process, and program individuals. The program was exposed in the 1970s and ended in 1973, but aspects of the program still continues.
Why is it Freemasons stand on this checkered floor? You see this in music videos. It represents division and illusion. You think you are this physical body, which is the illusion of the physical plane. You need to ascend to higher understanding of the spiritual planes. Mainstream music is hypnosis, putting you in a trance and keeping you in the illusion of the matrix. These Masonic tools are tools to recraft your mind. reshaping your belief system and ascending to higher consciousness. Stop remaining in the illusion. Low-level pleasures, lust, food, sex, entertainment. Learn symbolism to raise your understanding of yourself. Everything is spoken to you in symbolism.
Exactly, and we've covered this when it comes to the whole they have to tell you what they're doing. So when it comes to the checkerboard floor, it represents duality, represents as above so below, your moral and your human and your carnal side, right? So whenever a celebrity, for example, when the guy talk about the checkerboard floor being at the Epstein Island in every room, basically, because it's sending out, it's like a reminder for them, basically, because every time, whenever symbols are around you, you remember what it represents, right? So for example, not to say that what Epstein was doing was good or anything, it's evil and demonic, and these people, when they do things, they do the extreme because they're always looking for power, more money, more power, and they are never satisfied. So when it comes to stuff like that, because anyone can be on both sides, right? In Haiti, they have such a thing called having deux têtes. Basically understanding both sides, understanding the knowledge. If you ever need to use it, you can, at least you know it, right? Versus being completely blind of the information and only knowing one thing. Because the thing is, when you know both sides, once you see it, you cannot unsee it. So for example, I always knew a lot of the celebrities, if not all of them, are Masons. Now, well, not necessarily just Masons, but they do, like, they either worships the devil or whatever the case may be, but they're definitely into the spiritual realm. Like, they're definitely into, like, doing work in order to push themselves to, in order to achieve their goals and be successful in life and all that stuff. Because you think these people just did it, just wake up one day and became rich. Of course they put in the work. But what I always say is that they have to put it in your face. They have to give you signs. They have to tell you what they're doing. That is the law. Because at the end of the day, when they put the checkerboard sign or the checkerboard flooring or any sigil, any symbol that is part of the occult, it's like a reminder. Because the thing is, the checkerboard remind them that yes, they're doing bad, which is what one might say the black one could represent, and then the white side is like the good. It's like they can do terrible things, right? Affix children or something, or unalive children for their benefit, but then they'll turn around and donate $2 million to a charity, because what it does is it balances out the scales. So in order to balance out the scale, you have to do one good thing to cancel out the bad thing. Not necessarily because it actually does, but that's what they believe. If I do one bad thing and I do something good for the good of the planet or for the good of human nature, then I'm not going to be punished for what I've done. That's just their way of thinking. And also, if I tell you what I'm doing, then you cannot say that you didn't know. It's not my fault you didn't know the information, but I put it out there, just in case you know the stuff. So for example, for someone who's maybe watching my channel and you recognize a sign or a symbol or something, you're like, oh, I remember watching this on this crazy girl's YouTube channel, right? Anyways, and now you know the information, and every time you see it now, you cannot unsee it. And that's what the being awake mean, is that you will see things and you know these things because it has been something that you've learned about, and you're like, oh, I remember this. Oh, this is the checkerboard. Oh, this is the yin and yang. Oh, this is, the upside down cross or something. Now you're not so afraid of it because now you know the information. Because let me tell you one thing, a fun fact about myself. I've always wanted to be a mortician, right? But prior to wanting to be a mortician, I used to be so afraid of dead bodies. I used to think, oh my God, this is scary. If I ever saw like a dead body, I will dream about it. I'll have nightmares about it. It was just the craziest thing to me. And just like voodoo, a lot of people are so afraid of it because they don't know the information. Just like walking into a room and you see a coat hanger. You see a coat hanging on a thing with the hats on top of it, and you're thinking it's somebody in the corner, but it's in the dark and you don't know that it's just a coat hanging, up there until you turn the light on. And that's when you're like, I didn't even know what the heck I was so afraid of. You know what I mean? So it's all about, because thing is, in the Bible it tells you that these things are teaching you, they're giving you knowledge, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. But they make it evil because the thing is, they want you to know that, or to think that the knowledge that you're supposed to be learning, which is being used against you, is evil. So if you know the knowledge, then you're going to know too much. There's no such thing as knowing too much. You know what I mean? It's good to know the information. Now, it's not good to know it and not use it, but it's good to know the information. So when I hear people say, oh, you know, they tell you the secret knowledge and da-da-da, and the secret knowledge demonic. Well, how do you know? You don't even know the knowledge. How do you know it's demonic? Because you don't even know the knowledge. You know what I mean? You're just taking what people have told you as law, you know. So anyways, so I wanted to be a mortician after a while, because I started working at the hospital. I started seeing like the dead bodies. I started like looking at it and, you know, having to dress them and all that stuff. Not dress, but like clean them up and, you know, put the tag and everything on them. After a while, I'm like, I don't even know what the heck I was afraid of. It's nothing, because as a matter of fact, I'm more afraid of humans now than the dead people, because they ain't gonna hurt you versus what a person who's alive could do, you know. So in my opinion, it was very silly that I thought like that. But anyways, that's my thought on that. Let me know what you guys think.
So, what do checkered floors mean in film? I'll tell you. Hi, I'm Latasha, a TV writer and an avid fan of TV and film. Checkered floors in TV and film are actually really simple. It's just a symbolization of the internal war and battle within a character between two choices. And of course, depending on what movie you're watching, it's all contextual. It'll have a different meaning behind the choices depending on the context of the film. And checkered floors are not the only way to show a character's double-mindedness, right? The Matrix is a perfect example. We see that in reflections, light casting half light, half dark on a character's face, like here on Neo. Mirrors are another huge one to show a character's duality. Euphoria has a ton of them. And like so. So what do you think? Next time you guys see a character with double images, you'll know exactly what's going on. Also, I offer a ton of screenwriting services on my website. Head on over to justlatasha.com.
That's why people think occultism is evil. The word occult simply comes from Latin oculus, meaning eye, and the word occult means hidden. It simply means hidden from the eye. Truth is, you are not your physical body. You have many other vehicles of consciousness that are just simply lying unconscious in your awareness. The occult is about studying these things and actively engaging in out-of-body experiences and working with these higher vehicles of consciousness. However, there is a force called dark occultism. Dark occultists seek to keep this information secret so that human consciousness does not wake up and people remain ignorant, so they remain powerless. The Matrix is designed perfectly to keep you externally distracted on external things, so you never go inward and actually activate these higher vehicles of consciousness, because then you would figure out that you yourself are God.
So the other day I was out with my girlfriend and she was like, girl, what is going on? It seems like everybody's attention is on you. And then somebody sent me a free drinks. So I had to tell her, I had to pull her aside and say, girl, it's because of my Eau de Roots oils that I've been using. So this is my little thing where I mix the oils and keep them in here and then just put it on, you know, on my neck, my heart, and like my wrist. But these are the oils that I've been using, and as you can tell, I am a fan of Eau de Roots. I've been using their products for such a long time, and I swear by their products. So this is the attraction oil, and what I do is I like to mix my oils. Hold on. Mix my oil in the little shell, and I'll put them in my thing here, and whenever I'm getting ready to go out, I'll put a little bit on, and I'll completely forget that I have some attraction oil in there until like people start sending me like free drinks or sending my friends free drinks, like all of us at the table, and or people will come up and say, oh my gosh, you smell so amazing, what are you wearing? And I have to say, Eau de Roots have been literally doing her thing. When I have to be quite honest, because I don't just use the oils, but I also use their candles as well. Now, I know a lot of people might think that, oh, love and attraction candles are to like, you know, cast a love spell on someone. This video is sponsored by Eau de Roots, and you can use the code Jenny10 for 10% off. So when it comes to love candles, you can actually do a love and attraction ritual for like jobs, and or you do it for yourself. So you cast a love and attraction spell on yourself to attract love towards you, so you become a magnet for love, basically, right? Instead of like doing a love spell on someone, which y'all know how I feel about doing love spells on people. But yeah, so it's all about your intentions when you're working with candles. And these candles are so beautiful, and when I tell you, oh, they smell divine. Literally, they smell so nice. And it's already charged, and all you have to do is basically set your intentions to the candle and tell it what to do. I remember I burned one for a brand deal and I got it.